We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We've got a really fun show today, guys. We have Canadian superstar, the Royal Winter Fair champion in the indoor eventing, Waylon Roberts. He's going to join us here shortly for some really entertaining stories. It is Thanksgiving week. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back.
Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. This is Thanksgiving week, John. We are all getting ready for the holidays and so excited about it. Jeanette, can you hold for a second? Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry, we got talking about Thanksgiving. We've got people trying to bring in food and everything, but we're really excited about this. And we have Waylon Roberts on, John. We've had some exciting. What?
And it's been a trip. So for those who don't know, you guys got back like late last night. You were off in Oregon for a wedding. How was that? Briggs's brother got married?
Yeah, he got married, and we went to Eugene. So there was a football. They scheduled their wedding reception on the same day as the football game in Eugene. But it was fun. We had a good time. We went from one spectrum of England, Germany, Ireland to Eugene, Oregon. Have you ever been to Oregon?
No, I don't think I have. I've been to Washington, which is a separate state. It is not
right.
Oregon. It is north of Oregon.
It's separate. Yeah, it was beautiful. You fly in. We flew into Seattle, and you got to see Mount Rainier, and it's gorgeous there. We had a good time. I'm tired.
I bet.
Yeah.
And soon to be even more tired because you're gonna have a house full of family here shortly. Yeah. Everybody can sympathize or empathize or relate to all the family time. We love it, and it also gets you tired. So we did have some happenings. We just finished up TerraNova. I guess it was a little over a week ago now, almost 2 weeks. And there was some controversy at TerraNova, which we probably should talk about. I think in general, the first thing I just want to say is what a great event that is. It is, they have created so much atmosphere there. It is great for producing the horses. The rings have atmosphere. The show jumping course is always phenomenal. It was designed by Chris Barnard this year, and he does such a good job at both the 3 and 4 star level, which I rode. It was like just technical. Everything is related. The rings are a little cozy. They're not small, but they're not big, massive rings like you get at WEC or at Kentucky. They're a little more snug. And so those jumps, everything is absolutely related to the next, which is a great challenge. And you're right next to the stands. It's so good for them. And then before we get into sort of the happenings and the stuff that was going on social media about the cross country, I just want to say Alec Lahore, I think, has done a phenomenal job designing TerraNova. I think in the beginning, they put such a great push with Mark Phillips on sort of developing the property. They had a ton of frangible jumps, which obviously I'm a big supporter of. But because it was new, it lacked, to me, a little bit of flow early on. It felt a little bit like they had put the jumps in the fields and they had their complexes with the water jumps and the tricaners and ditch walls and stuff, but it didn't feel as natural. And Alec has come in and through trying to use the terrain, but also just through the types of materials that he's building with and using in relation with these frangibles. He's using big solid timbers, lots of brush, and it feels very much cross country to me now. It feels like something you can ride at, you can attack. They're great attacking courses. And I just think he's done such a great job. And I felt that way. And I feel like I need to say it because I know they had their issues with social media since the event. And certainly that 3-star was a tough cross country with the Coffin. But in general, I think he has done a really good job there. And I'm really excited that he's made the adjustments to the course that he has.
No, I totally agree. We were there, of course. We weren't there this year. We were there last year, and I think that might have been his second event after taking over. And the changes were good. I mean, and I agree with you, John. I think you mentioned the social media issue, and I sent a text to our ERA of NA, which is now part of the USEA, a lot of acronyms. That we maybe need to come up with a rider hotline. It's sort of like a beer goggle thing when you send text out.
Yep.
Perhaps they could call the hotline and have a discussion before throwing a lot of people under the bus. I think we need to be careful what we do. Our sport's in a very what would you call it, Joan? A fragile, not frangible, but fragile place. Delicate.
Yeah, I think the thing that I thought of was, so just being sort of taking my experience from this in the past, in years past, when I've gone to events and I felt like they weren't listening to the competitors, they weren't doing the things they needed to do. I have gone on social media and made statements about stuff. And I learned over the course of doing that a few times that actually was not productive. All it really did was put the officials on the defensive, definitely create a little bit of us versus them mentality, and most importantly, didn't accomplish what I was hoping it would accomplish in the first place. Well, it wasn't really about being worried whether they liked me or didn't like me as a competitor, but the point was, when you make those statements on social media, you're doing it because you're upset about something and you feel like it might make a productive change. And I will say that it has never done that for me. So I adopted very quickly the idea that if I have an issue with something on cross country, I go directly to the officials myself. I say it. Sometimes they don't like me for it. Sometimes we argue and we fight about it, but I try to make sure that I have those conversations in person. I try to have them ahead of time, but if I feel like post event that something else needs to be said, I'm not shy about going up and saying it then. I don't think it matters if you're a big name rider or you're not a big name rider. I would say that I am a moderate named rider, and you just have to go up and have those conversations. And sometimes, here's the other thing, sometimes they don't go the way you think. Like, you go up and you have an opinion about something and the officials might disagree, and it's not because they don't want to hear what you have to say. It's because they're horsemen as well, and they just don't agree with you on it. And I think we can all come out of TerraNova saying that Coffin was difficult. Was it too difficult? Was it just right? Did it ride badly because it wasn't where it was supposed to be? Did it ride tough and that's the way it should have been? I think we can have all those conversations, but it doesn't have to be plastered all over the
internet. And I think, to your point, and obviously over the years, I myself have posted on Facebook, and I have learned, like you, things don't get resolved that way. I think we got to pull together, and resolutions come in the form of what you just said, having personal meetings, laying out what your problem is with the group that might be able to do something, right? But I think a lot of people on the social media side, and when you're upset and you're mad and what you're wanting is confirmation that you're feeling bad, and your feeling bad should be correct and it's supported by people. And that's what social media does, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah.
But I think we need to find a different way. And then back to I wasn't joking. I mean, if we had some way of having some form of contact to the rider committee or something, that riders that are upset and want some help, what do I do? How do I form, my anger and put it into a direction that might be beneficial? I think we need to try to look at those ways. Otherwise, we're just going to eat ourselves, right out of this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's fair, right? Like, that's not a bad idea. I guess my feeling is people look, people are going to do this. They're good people. They get upset. They don't have a day they want. They are worried about their horses getting hurt. Like, that's all totally legitimate stuff. But the reality is there are a lot of ways in place to be able to deal with that.
And there is a lot of work. And you just said their horse getting hurt. Let's talk about TerraNova even deep, diver deep, or deeper dive, right? Yeah. We have rider reps. I know it's Sydney Elliott, correct? I think the point was made that nobody said anything about the Coffin at the rider meetings. You were there. Nothing until afterwards. And yes, our horses' welfare and safety are the top of the list. And I'm going to give another example. We had, remember the bit issue with Briggs and the whole thing? It was TerraNova, right? And it was actually Alec Lahore, who was the TD. And we were coming down and we received an email saying, we used it 8 times, FBI, we're not allowing you to use the bit this time. And you know what Briggs did? We took that in, and he decided, because he hadn't practiced in another bit, we did the dressage and show jump, and he did not run the horses cross country. So if you have an issue that can't be resolved within the context of that event, withdraw. I know it's a lot of money. I know there's a lot of things going on, but if you're not comfortable, or you don't make the ability to make a change prior to going out on the course, hindsight's 20/20, right? So I'm just saying, if you want something done, do it in the beginning and not in the end.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, John, you're really good at it.
Which look, to the point that some people have made, I am good at it. I'm also known as the guy that the officials don't really want to have at their competition. So it does come with a price, right?
Yep.
So I understand people being reluctant to speak up, because I do have a reputation of being a pain and being a complainer. And I have learned not to worry about that. And fortunately, and I'm sincere when I say this, fortunately, I do have this ability that in the moment I get upset enough that I don't care. But when I leave the event and come home, I do. It does bother me. I don't like people not liking me. I think that's human. So there is a cost to it.
Yeah, but you've learned over the years. I think you approach it differently. You grow. I mean, they don't like me either. I mean, I say that. Look, we've had a lot of things with officials, but I can tell you one thing right now, because of all the stuff that Briggs and I have been through on the competition side with FEI stewards and TDs. Today, I have a great relationship with every single steward, with every single TD. We have great conversations. We have talks in the end gate. We talk about proactive movements on what we're using. And while it might have been contentious in the beginning, it did, when it has gone into form a relationship that I feel I can go up to any of them and have a conversation. So I think the same is for you, John, is that might have been like that in the beginning.
Yep.
Back.
For sure. It's definitely gotten better, to your point. And there's a mutual respect there, because over time you learn how to approach these things without blowing your top and not getting too upset. But my point was, you can see where somebody who's doing that for the first time would be worried about it, right? They're like, I don't want to be a jerk like John, basically.
Well, and I'm glad you're testifying to the fact that be a jerk like John in the beginning and it will work out later. So
Sometimes maybe try to do it politely, but I think the point is you got to speak up,
always
even
polite.
if it's uncomfortable, right? So,
Yeah.
So the other things we should just talk about is my beautiful wife just did the educational 3-day event
Oh
at the
yeah,
Florida
tell us
Horse
about
Park. That was awesome. I got to do steeplechase. I got to teach steeplechase to all the riders, which is tough at the intro level to feel like you're getting these people to be confident and these horses to be confident to want to go gallop around faster than they've gone and gallop over these steeplechase fences. But they all did it. They all had a blast. Everybody had so much fun. All of the posts were like how amazing this was. And I got to go down there on cross country day and do the vet box and like remember how to do this stuff. It was really cool. Yes, Rick, you had a question.
Yeah, I got a question just because we're on it. It would maybe next year, Jen, she can incorporate. I don't know if you did this, but did you have a writers meeting?
Oh, she says yes. There was a writers meeting.
Oh, good. So there's the ability to learn how to have a discussion about concerns and what's
You
going
want me
on.
to lead that rider meeting, Jen, and see if I can get them riled up and complaining and yelling? All right, I'll take that as a yes.
So I think congratulations to Jen and the team because that's really important for y'all to be teaching what you're teaching in that format. So I think it's cool.
Well, and it was really cool because it's Jen and Emily Holmes and Lauren Romanelli. And who else am I forgetting, Jen? Tracy Olish and John Olish. They ran that thing. And Dorothy, yeah, Dorothy Crowell. Yeah, that was her baby. She got
Her
that
baby.
thing rolling. So it's cool. Honestly, it's cool to be a part of it. I give Jen a hard time because it's at the end of the year, and I'm like, I told Dorothy for years, there's no way. I absolutely will not volunteer. I'm not helping. It is the end of the year. I am done. You will never get me to participate in this as a volunteer. Not happening. And then my wife got involved, and I said, absolutely, I will do whatever you would like. And now I get to help, which is super.
Well, I think that was great. And to reverse a little bit on TerraNova, Sydney Elliott, congratulations on the 4-long win on that really cool horse, QC Diamante, right?
Diamantere.
Owned by Carol Stevens. Sydney deserved that win. That was great.
Yes, yes, and it was cool to see Diabolo back out with Will.
Yep,
he did great, and the great Deary also in the 4 short did really well. So that was a fun competition. Are you going to the annual meeting?
Yes, we're going to the annual meeting. We made. We were talking. We were going to drive, but then the flights are so cheap out of Gainesville that we are flying.
We're driving.
Yeah, I mean they're like $172 round trip. It was like crazy. You missed out, John.
No, I'm driving. I would way rather drive.
Good for you. Anyway, we are flying again.
Unless I was flying, in which case I'd tell you I'd way rather fly.
We're like on our 12th trip of the year. But yeah, we're going to the USEA convention. We, of course, Briggs applied for the Rebecca grant, and they would like whether you win the grant or not win the grant to come to the convention. So we are abiding by the specifications of the guidelines. But we also want to go because we like to keep catch up on stuff. And I think this new Board of Governors member is going to be sworn in at the luncheon. I think her name is Jennifer Halling.
She's super excited. She's been reading all the minutes of all the meetings, getting all caught up. She's much more, they're going to be in for a treat because they were used to me being on the board. Jen actually reads, and she's going to be a much more productive board member than I ever was. That's for sure. So
hey, you know what the story is? So I got a call from a past president, let's just say that says, hey, you're on the nomination committee. I think we need some strong spine women on the board. Not that there's not any strong spine women on the board now.
But they need more of them.
More of them. Leslie Law and Jen Halling. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. went to the nomination committee, right?
Yep.
And we need, candidates. And I was like, well, we got Leslie Law and Jen Halling, and they're like, we can only take one because I don't think we could handle two.
They should have taken Leslie. That would have been much better.
No,
for me.
I had worked.
Yeah, for
I
me.
had worked. I worked Jen Halling way. I was a lobby in that one, so she did it for me. Thank you, Jen.
Leslie dodged it this time. You'll get it next time, Leslie. Don't you worry.
Next year.
So the other thing at the annual meeting is it's not confirmed yet. I still have to make phone calls, but I do have a contact I'm going to call in the next day or so who is a member of a running club in New Orleans. And
Okay.
I'm thinking that my next run, because I just did my second run on Monday.
Yeah. Congratulations by all the money, by the way.
Incredible. Yeah, the Go US Eventing. So the third run, I think I'm going to see. I'm really qualifying this. I'm going to try to have the third run happen at the annual meeting, hopefully through the city of New Orleans, but I don't want to go unless I have somebody who knows where is good places to run and what would be a nice run to have. So just saying, Briggs keeps talking like he wants to go on this run. You should come on the run. It's going to
as long as it's not Sunday morning, I'm fine.
It'll be probably, I'm thinking like either Thursday or Saturday. Probably not
Thursday. We fly in, so
okay. So probably Saturday or Friday afternoon. Just probably not too early because I have a feeling that if we go too early, some people might still be recovering from Bourbon Street the night before.
That'd be a good run. You just have beer.
A beer run.
Yeah,
not a bad plan. So anyway, keep your eyes on social media.
I like that. Great idea.
And we'll see. So,
and by the way, John, donate.
Yes. Donate. So we are right now at $225,000, which means we only need $25,000 more to meet the goal of $250,000.
We can do that.
And then make me have to do all 5 runs, which honestly, I am dying. Like my legs are killing me. But I said I'd do this. And Jen is rightly so calling me an idiot because this is just one more example of me being moronic. But let's get that whole 250. I'd love it if we had it by the annual meeting. That'd be so cool. By the end of the calendar year would be amazing. So let's try to get that done. We only need like 25 grand more, which is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, we're almost to 250 grand. So we can do it.
I know.
So I don't know where I was going with that other than to say
donate to the US
Eventing. Yes. Yep. So you need to go to useafoundation.org. I think it is .org. And then you can go in there. And if you go to my Instagram, there's a video down from a month or so ago that shows you how to actually go in to the site and how to make the donation. But you want to go click on it. And there's a drop down window that shows you all of the different fundraisers or funds that you can give them. One of them is the Frangible Fence Fund. You want to click that one specifically for this. There's a lot of other great stuff you can donate to in there as well. But for our purposes, it is the Frangible Fence Fund. You can go in there and make your donation, and let's get all those frangible fences out on course. It's so important.
That's maybe Joel at the end, isn't there a code that they can also do?
I'll send it to Joel. Yeah. And we'll see.
Maybe you can pop that up at the end or now.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I'll send that to him. That's a good point. So,
yep.
All right. So all that said, we should take a break, Rick, because Waylon is waiting for us.
I know. I can't wait for this.
All right. So let's take a very brief break, check in with our sponsors, and we're going to be back with the one and only Waylon Roberts.
EquiBrew, now available in the USA. It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
EquiBrew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order EquiBrew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
If you're in the horse world, you need to have a good lawyer. Whatever the size of your business, having the best legal support is paramount. Rick and I use our friend and attorney, Yvonne Okrant. She's a partner at Hinshaw & Culberson LLP, which is a national law firm with over 450 attorneys. She's been at this for over 24 years and is licensed in Illinois, Florida, and Wisconsin. Yvonne can help you with contracts for horse purchases, sales and leases, as well as equine activity liability, releases, and training and boarding contracts for individuals and entities. If you need help with a syndicate, she's done over 350 contracts and operating agreements for sport horses in all 3 disciplines. Whatever your legal need is, Yvonne can assist you. Call her at 312-704-3080 or email at yokrant@hinshawlaw.com. So we just told you all about Yvonne Okrant and wanted to just remind you guys to give her a call if you have any legal needs involving anything in the equine industry. Make sure you use the promo code HORSELAW. That's going to get you a free initial consultation. Again, remember that promo code HORSELAW. You're going to love Yvonne. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454. Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here in the Equibrew segment, and we are here with the Canadian eventing legend and indoor eventing legend, even more specifically. Like, you get 2 legendary statuses, Waylon. We got Waylon Roberts here. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very kind of you, Jonathan. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you know, I do what I can. Do what I can. We gotta sell it. We gotta sell it. We appreciate you being on here. I know that you are a busy man. What are you? I was trying to actually figure this out when I was pulling stuff up. Are you in Georgia now, or are you in Aiken?
Aiken. Yeah, I've been in Aiken now for 2 years. Loving it. It's kind of like been my second home my whole life, and now we're making it my full-time home.
Nice.
Great.
Nice. Well, cool. So I guess we should just maybe start with the most recent things, and then we'll go sort of into your story. Does that make sense to everybody? Rick, you happy with that? We haven't really.
Yeah, super. So we're starting our episode 1, Waylon. We're getting the cobwebs out of my head. So we didn't do the short intro. We do that later, right, John?
Yeah, we do that. What are you doing?
Later. I know, I'm just trying to mess him up. Look, I'm throwing stuff at him, Waylon.
He's killing me here. He's killing me here. So, Waylon, we just got done at TerraNova, and you had 2 in the 4 short there, correct?
Yeah, no, and love going to TerraNova. I haven't been in a couple of years, but man, oh man, what an event.
Yeah, it's a pretty great event for sure. And I want to make sure we get into sort of the details, because obviously TerraNova has been front and center on social media. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about your horses. I've got them pulled up here. You've got Fernhill Salt Lake and Chevalier. Is that how you say it?
Yep, Chevalier. And so Chevy came to me this summer around June, I suppose. And like, he's lovely. Been really lucky to have him. Carol Wiley, the owner, sent him down to me, and we've just had a cracking go of it. You know, getting to know each other. So we've did a few intermediates. We had to do the obligatory CCI 3-star shorts to get us qualified, and then that was our first 4-star short there at TerraNova. And I mean, I've been really impressed with the horse, so I'm pretty excited for the future with him. I know Rebecca Howard, our chef to keep, like, she's known the horse a lot longer than I have, and she's super excited to see him back out again. So yeah, I mean, I feel pretty lucky to have him.
And is she Canadian, the owner?
Yeah, yep, Canadian bred horse. By a hunter stallion called Cabardino. And so that was a Canadian horse. He's Canadian bred. Carol's Canadian. So it's kind of he's Canadian trained. Carl Slezak had him for years and trained him up. And so it's truly a Canadian horse, which is kind of cool.
That is cool. That is very cool. So the other horse you had there was Fernhill Salt Lake. So give us a little bit of info on him.
Yeah. I've had him since I've known him since he was 5. He's been under me since he was about 7. I guess he's coming on 11 this year. But we've had some ups and downs. He's done really well at the 3-star level. He had a couple wins at the shorts, and then been trying to upgrade him to 4-star for about a year now, and it's finally it stuck at TerraNova. So we're gonna hope that it sticks going into 2026.
Yeah, I mean, he looked awesome there. I do have one question, which you may not want me to even ask, but it's interesting because I'm looking at his record here, and I think this is kind of cool. Like, probably shows some good horsemanship here and some thinking behind stuff, because you went in September and you went to the Fork, and you had on paper what was a pretty good result. You finished 4th in the 3-star, and then your next event you went to Stableview and you had him in the training level.
Nope,
that's what it says. Fernhill Salt Lake.
So they mix up. So I've got another horse in my barn named Fernhill the Wild Card.
So they messed up your record. You need to check into that, man.
And no, we've checked. So we've got this other horse called Fernhill the Wild Card, and he's going training with a student of mine, and I ride him from time to time. But for whatever reason, Salty went advanced at that.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I was like, I mean, obviously you knew something about this horse. You wanted him to go plot around and have a great time. I even double checked the rider was the same.
Nope.
All right.
Hard to believe it, but the USEA gets things wrong every now and again.
Rob, Bert, you need to fix that. Let's get on it.
It's that new system that they got put up there. Kind of, I think it crossed hairs when they downloaded everything. So.
All right. Well, he's had a pretty good go this year, then, for sure. He's in good shape.
Yeah. No, he's been great. I tried to upgrade him to 4-star last year at it was Tryon. It was the fall event, whatever that one's called. And he's always been a little ditchy. And there was a big tricaner at fence 3, and he didn't take a liking to that. So we didn't make it.
Not alone.
Yeah, exactly. And then they've made it an enormous ditch and brush now. So I'm not looking forward to having to go back and try that. and then so after that run at Tryon last year, I decided, maybe I'll show jump him for a little while and just kind of take him back a level. I mean, I didn't event him for 8 months. But I was like, maybe he'll be a top show jumper. He's not going to be a top show jumper, John. So I wish he was, but it's not going to happen. So then you go, okay, well, let's go and take another crack at eventing. And taking him back out. He's been great all this summer season and into the fall. And then again, I went to Chat Hills and I was like, okay, I'm going to have another go at a 4-star. And because he went advanced at Stableview there where it says he went training.
Right.
And he was fantastic. And, Stableview's got a few ditches but they're pretty inviting. And as far as an advance goes, it was a good one for him to upgrade at. And so I was really looking forward to Chat Hills, and because he's jumped those ditch and hedges at Chat Hills in the 2-star and the 3-star levels. But this time he came around to that one in the 4-star. He was galloping up. We found the distance, and for whatever reason, he thought it was a bounce. He thought it was a 9-foot rail out in front of that wall. And we hit it at a pretty good clip, but he was fine. I was fine. And here we are.
Wow. Did the jump survive?
The jump did survive. Unfortunately, I got to talk to Clayton about
it. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad he's in good shape, and you had such a good TerraNova. Rick, you got anything here before we get into TerraNova specifically?
Well, no, I mean, obviously, and you've been around for a very long time. We've all known you since your a kid, right?
I know, I'm a Nepo
Here,
baby.
and here you are. I mean, growing up in the sport, I know your father was in there with you, and you know, what was it like before we get into what's happening now? What was it like coming up as an eventing kid? I mean, you a horse kid, you've been in this your whole life, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, my parents ran an enormous stable up in Canada. You know, they had a 15 horse riding school with multiple instructors, and they had probably 30 or 40 boarders, and ran up to 3-star events on their own property for 25 years. So
Wow.
you know, and that was mom as the organizer and my dad doing all the course design and all the course building. So, you know, as far as growing up in eventing, you know, and then also becoming an eventer, you know, you couldn't ask for anything better. Like, you know, you get to just, I grew up in the riding school, did the horse camp, and yeah, I mean, it was just right outside my front door. There was a time when I decided I wasn't doing it and they couldn't make me. And that was a brief hiatus from horses, but I come back to it. And yeah, I mean, it was as far as a way to get a foothold in the sport, it couldn't have been better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It's good. We know a lot of people that have had your experience, and I mean, not a lot, but once you're in there, you know, and you try to step away, it's kind of in your blood. You get back into it. So I'm glad you did, because you're a really good rider and Canada needs you. So
no, like, and that's it. Both of my parents they didn't have any horse in their family, like horses in their family. So they came into it because they were just crazy horse kids. And then yeah, I think that, you know, there's a lot of second, third generation professionals now, but it always takes somebody to just love horses and take the plunge.
Yeah, that's cool. Now we can go present day. So John, where were you taking them? Are we going to the indoor arena thing? Where are we going?
Hold on, my dogs are barking.
Oh, I can't hear them.
You got to get off those feet.
Okay, I think they're quiet now. Yeah, so I just think we just had TerraNova, Waylon. Obviously, there was a fair bit of controversy coming out of TerraNova specifically because of the 3-star Coffin. But I think both those Coffins, they ride tough. Last year, the 4-star rode tough.
Yeah.
And you know, my feeling is we need those sorts of fences to produce horses and get them ready. And you know, could it be tweaked a little bit? Maybe, but I don't want to lead you too much. I know you're not easily influenced anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I say. But I'm just sort of curious, I guess, kind of what your thoughts were going into the cross country and what your thoughts were when you finished it.
Yeah, so the Coffin wasn't on my courses that I was riding, but I did have a student in the 3 long, and when we walked it, I said, "Well, it's a super tough Coffin, but you know, her horse is a fantastic cross country horse, and she's got enough experience." Like, I knew it wasn't going to be an issue. So for me, and I had a few other riders come up to me and ask me about it, but I was looking out for my student, and I knew it wasn't going to be a problem. So I didn't have a problem with the question because of that. I think that for the level, like, those questions were at the top end of the, like, you know, that both those Coffins, both the 4-star and the 3-star, were at the top end of difficulty. I think that, you know, the horses go cross country and take into the overall context of the ground in which they're running. And so at TerraNova, you really don't have any natural hills. I mean, no, you don't have any natural hills. It's as flat as it could be. And the drainage ditches that they put that question in, probably the dimensions of them, you know, are very similar to what you might find at Vermont or Morven or Kentucky, right? Like, so the specs are probably very similar, but it's the context of the ground around it. And I think that is what caused so much problem. You didn't have a long, slow uphill grade to sort of take the edge off the horses, and you didn't have like any downhill where the riders might start to take a tug and like sort of feel where their horse's stride is at. You just had this flat, very long gallop to it. And I think when you're on flat ground, you know, you might feel like you've brought your horse back to a 12-foot stride or a 10-foot stride, when in actual fact, you're still on a 14-foot step. And I think that that's what happened with the majority, because I watched quite a few there, being in the warm-up, and to me, I didn't see any of the 4-star, but in the 3-star, it felt like a lot of the horses were just coming a little quick, and, you know, maybe the riders riding a little bit faster in order to get it done, but maybe that's the reason they didn't get it done. So it's hard to say. I mean, I think yes. Is it a fair question? Absolutely. In the context of the rest of the event, I think it's very difficult there.
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
That was the one thing I said, was I felt like, to your point, it was a little out of context with the rest of the course. But the other thing I said, which I'd be curious in your thoughts since you walked around that 3-star track, I felt like if you took that question away, it was a pretty straightforward 3-star. Like, it really would not have been a super influential cross country if you didn't have that fence there. And obviously, was it too influential? Yeah, probably was. But I personally think you need that fence. They probably need to rework the ground on it, change the slope a little bit, maybe put it later in the course, maybe, but we need a Coffin. Otherwise you end up at these big events, like you were saying, like Morven or Kentucky or Maryland, and these horses haven't seen a Coffin like that.
You do need a Coffin, but so like for me, when I'm bringing up the horses and thinking, okay, so you're about 2 years out before you start thinking about Kentucky, right? Whether you're going to Kentucky for the 4 short or you're going there for the 5-star, I feel like you need to be about 2 years out in your planning. And Bromont offers a Coffin that has the in of a log and a drop down to a very big ditch, but then the out is a flat plain. And so, like, that's, to me, has always been a really good sort of, when you're going advanced or 3-star, like, that's been a really good sort of, okay, this is what a real into a Coffin is and should be. But then the out is a little nicer. Because when you get to Kentucky, you go down into a pit, you jump a big, very long ditch. It's probably like 25 feet long, right? So it's not this little narrow ditch at the bottom of a pit, which is just the feeling that you get given at TerraNova there. You know, I don't know what to change. You know, you could bring the rail back a little bit, you know, to add a stride, so it's maybe a 2 to a 2. Or you could, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what you do, but I think like I said, I think that's on the harder end of things at TerraNova, that Coffin. And if we're going to be giving horses confidence to go to championship events with Maryland, Kentucky, Morven, and, you know, basically at that point, I'm just talking about where there's a prize money, right? Like, you know, right. Those are the 3 prize money places in North America now. So like, that is what we should be working toward. And if you take the horse's confidence away at what we might call a preparation event, you know, which is wild to say about a 4 long or a 3 long, but like, if we're developing horses to be at the top of the sport, these are prep events. You know, like the Bromont Coffin, it prepares the horses for what they're going to see.
The other thing real quick that I just think of, because you're talking about Bromont, which I want to get your thoughts on, is when you do that Coffin at Bromont, you're absolutely right. Like, it's basically half a Kentucky Coffin. But the other thing you do is you turn 180 degrees back at it.
Yep.
And the course designer did that on purpose to get the horses in the balance that they need. And, you know, the one at TerraNova, you jump that big table, and then it really was left to the riders to set the right balance. And you're right, on flat ground, that can be tough. And I watched a lot of the 3-star too. And it seemed to me like either they would accelerate from the table and run like wild, or a couple would come in absolutely backwards, just pulling the whole way. And it was hard to see somebody give it a really good ride. And I don't think that was just because they weren't good enough riders. I think it was because I think they're very good riders there. I think it was because, like you said, it was out of context. And maybe if you could even have them come to it and roll back, like from where that finish was, roll back to those coffins instead, that might be part of a solution there.
Well, and just now, just thinking about it a little bit more, I mean, it's not like that's the only drainage ditch on the place. Like, you know, there's other places where you drop down. And so you could have like a hollow type situation without the ditch at the bottom that sort of prepares the horses for like, hey, at a tree line at this place, you drop down into something.
Right.
Right. I mean, there might be other ways of doing that, because you know we jump a tricaner over one of those, and we used to jump a ditch and hedge over one of those ditches, and then I think now he's, you know, but I think there could be another couple other places to do like a hollow in a miniature form that might prepare them. But agreed, without that coffin on the 3-star, the 3-star would have been a dressage and show jump show.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, and last year, I don't have the stats in front of me, was the same coffin for the 3 long and the 4 long, but it was flip-flopped. Last year, the 3 long didn't have the issues. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They just to that note, Rick, just so you know, that's, I think, a big part of the reason they were flipped is they flipped times. So last year, 4-star went in the morning, and the shade, I think, was a big issue on the coffin as well.
So yeah, so it was flip-flopped. And then I did notice somebody come up with the percentage of the field in the 3 long. John, did you see that report that came out? That, you know, we can talk about, I think all your points are very on point about the coffin at TerraNova, but I also, the degree of riding skill and where we are might not be matched to that the upper side of the 3 long level for that course. And we did show that there was a lot of people redirected from a 3 long that they couldn't complete early in the season at Morven or somewhere else, and they redirected to TerraNova. So I'm not trying to take away from the skills of our riders, but I do want to point out that I think statistically there are riders out there that were having problems already that were going through the course.
Oh no, we need to. There's a culture of like, you, instead of finishing with a 20 or finishing with a 40 or a 60, God forbid, right? Instead of doing that, you put your hand up and you retire, because a retirement or a withdrawal is better for the record. And then before you've even got a horse back to the stable, you've already entered the next event to reroute or whatever. And that culture is just, that is not how the sport was originally intended. Like a 3 long or a championship event, you know, you're supposed to go, and you know, part of it is getting around and finishing, and like, you know what, you can't win them all, right? So you know, if you go cross country, you're going to have 20s, and you know what, sometimes it's really good for a horse just to finish a course.
Totally.
And just because you didn't jump around at fence 7 and you had a 20, oh well, now I'm going to go to TerraNova and reroute. That's not how I mean, I think the sport goes.
I hear you. I mean, obviously the way that the sport has evolved and what happens to you if you are eliminated on, you know, consecutively, then you have to drop down a level. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I think to me, with the rerouting makes sense if there was something that you really know the horse wasn't going to read and be able to get through, and that continuing going was not in the best interest. But on the flip side, like you're saying, there might be a point that continuing is going to make them learn and grow more if you can do that. So I think it's just being able to do that in your head.
I would just say a couple things that I think, having been involved in the rule side of it, which is realistically, if you take a horse out and it does get eliminated twice, even if you weren't forced to go down a level, I think most people would.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you would hope.
Yeah. So that to me is a little bit of a non-issue, but I think Waylon's right. Like, people have this attitude of like, I'd rather just put my hand up and I was kind of raised, you work through it. And, if obviously it's not jumping well and it's getting dangerous, that's one thing, but you have a 20, you try to finish the event. And I think we've definitely, I believe, put too much emphasis on dressage and show jumping and taken too much off of cross country. And I've done it myself. I went out and bought some really fancy dressage horses, and then discovered it's really hard to win when they don't jump around cross country. My mother-in-law said to my wife years ago, Jenny, you can't win if you don't finish. And that stuck with us. That stuck with us for a very long time. And I've tried to always think about like, look, I want to win the dressage. I want to jump double clear, but I have to jump clear cross country.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't have it. I grew up in Young Riders when Young Riders was still a thing. I think that you guys probably, same thing, like, and so at an early age, when you're riding on a team, you need to have 4 finishers or 3 finishers or whatever it is. And sometimes one of those finishers has a 20, but they don't walk home. Like when you ride on a team, you got to finish. And so I think that was what was always instilled in me as I was growing up in the sport. Just like, didn't always have a team to ride on because there wasn't a huge amount coming out of Ontario when I was doing the Young Riders, but we had a very successful Young Rider program a little before my time, and that was always the emphasis. It's like, we get 4 riders around.
Yep.
If everybody's clean, fantastic. However, sometimes it shakes out that you just need to get a team around. So
totally. No, I think that's a great point, and that's actually a great segue. But what we're going to do, Waylon, is we need to take a break, and then I want to talk about teams, and specifically your teams, and specifically a pretty awesome, memorable, maybe not awesome, but memorable moment at one of those competitions.
Oh, I think I might know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. So, most importantly, we want to thank Equibrew, which is an amazing live probiotic. They sponsored this segment, guys. They made this segment possible. I feed it to all of my horses. I was driving down 40 today past Seminole Feed, and I saw on their light up billboard, Equibrew was available
there you go.
at Seminole. And I tried to take a picture, but I wasn't fast enough. So I didn't get it, but I'll get it eventually. But yeah, Equibrew is that Seminole and all other places. Rick, tell us where else people can get it.
Yeah, brickfieldnutrition.com. Well, and we'll make sure that you get a couple bottles, try it out. It's a great live probiotic. And it's a daily supplement, and everybody is now starting to scratch their head because they're going, okay, this is really working, and my GastroGuard bill has gone down. Cool. So, really good stuff. So brickfieldnutrition.com, we're having a Black Friday sale, which you're going to miss because when does this air, John?
It airs on Thursday, Thanksgiving.
No, it's going to be perfect for Thanksgiving. Yeah. So Black Friday sale on Shopify. So you can go there and order your product.
Boom. Get it, guys, tomorrow.
All right.
Don't miss it. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Waylon, and you guys are going to love this story. It's one of my favorites.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Since 1950, Maison Forestier has been offering its know-how to design custom-made saddles for passionate riders. In 2016, Maison Forestier took a turn and expanded into the sports world with the goal of improving the performance of the rider-horse pair. You will find a professional, reactive, and fun team to answer your needs. And this is why I have chosen Forestier for all of my saddlery needs. Feel free to contact the saddle expert in your area for more information by visiting www.forestier.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here with still the great and one and only Waylon Roberts, who's going to evidently tell us a great story that keeps giving. So what do you got for us, Waylon?
Well, I've been railroaded into this by you guys.
Yeah,
so.
you're welcome. I didn't ask ahead of time if you were okay with this. I think this is a great story. It is a story. Let me just build this up a little bit. This is a story about a young Canadian boy going to a foreign land and having all of the weight of his entire country on his shoulders and having to fight through adverse conditions and aggressive people trying to sabotage him and his country's performance. Waylon, go.
Yeah, so it was the Pan American Games in 2007. We were down in Rio de Janeiro, and it was my first senior team experience, and must have been, it was like 18 or 19, so pretty green. Anyways, Canada was doing well. We were going into Sunday. We were sitting in silver medal position, but it was close. The Brazilians were nipping at our heels, and of course I think Teddy O'Connor won that year. So it was the famous Teddy O'Connor, the pony, and Karen won. But yeah, going into show jumping, I was I might have been like the second Canadian show jumper to be going in, and our first rider had done quite well. But so the crowd was clearly, rooting for the home team, and every time a foreign rider went in to the show jumping, they would cheer whenever a rail came down and boo when they jumped a clear round. So it was starting to get like, it was like a soccer stadium atmosphere. Like they were enjoying the day. So it had sort of been simmering, the crowd had been simmering, and the athletes were starting to notice that like, this isn't the normal sort of etiquette for a crowd at an event. So finally, it was my turn to go, sort of halfway through the class. I was riding Paleface, who was one of my young rider. He was my first young rider horse. I had been to multiple young riders with him, and we weren't the best of show jumpers. So there was, to say the least, there was a lot of cheering by the end of my round, and being quite disappointed with the round that I had, I thought that maybe the crowd shouldn't be cheering. So instead of just leaving the arena politely, I decided to do a lap of honor, flipping them the bird. And
I love it so much.
They stopped cheering, but it turned from cheering to I don't know hooliganism. Would that be sort of
they were jeering,
like soccer hooliganism? You know, people getting pretty angry. To the point where they paused the competition. Roger Haller was the TD.
Oh, wow.
He came into the arena, asked everybody to calm down. David O'Connor was my team coach at the time. He took me aside and said, "You're going to get in big trouble for this, young man." But my parents came and gave me a pat on the back.
Good for you.
I just think it's so great that the Canadian guy, the country that is known for being polite and apologizing, you're the guy that did it.
But so everything, it all worked out. Everybody got it sorted out. The competition went off without a hitch after that. But the next day in the airport, Kyle Carter, my teammate, we were sitting at the gate waiting for the plane, and he come over to me and he's like, "Oh, you should go over to that newsstand and go and have a look at the newspaper." So I went over, I flipped to the sports page, and there was me in my pink coat flipping the bird, like front page and center of the sports section. I'm like, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna buy this." You know, not really thinking about the context of where I'm at. And the lady at the stand is like, "Oh," like in Portuguese, you know, she's like, "That's you." And so anyway, I chucked way too much money at her for a newspaper, and I ran back to my seat, got on the plane.
Oh man. Did you get in any trouble with the FEI over that? Did they give you a hard time? Did you get a yellow card or anything? Nothing.
No,
nothing.
No,
just a stern talking to by Mr. O'Connor.
Yeah, stern talking to by David. Yeah. Yeah,
which honestly can be as bad as anything. I've been on the receiving end of a couple of those, and you paid your price. Yeah, you get the finger. Exactly. You get the finger in your chest. What are you doing? What are you doing with that? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I know that.
We should move him to happier times with his last win. Tell us about that.
Oh, the Royal Winter Fair is like the best horse show in the world. It's an agricultural fair that's downtown Toronto. So we get to stay in like a big fancy hotel under the CN Tower, and then you take a taxi, and then you're at this what is normally used as a hockey rink, but that's where they host the show jumping, and there's a big convention center where you've got like thousands of cows and people showing their cows. It's a country fair in the city. It's very unique. And for the last 20 years or so, they've been putting on an eventing exhibition class that's taken on different forms over the years. Like initially it was just a speed class, and then they brought in one year they brought in a bunch of Americans, so it was like 30 horses one year, and then now they've whittled it down so that it's just an exhibition. You've got 10 horse and riders. Typically they invite the world number one. So this year Harry Mead was there, who's been Fox Pitt's done it, Oliver, the who's who of eventing around the world has been invited. Mikael Young did it a couple years ago. And so yeah, I've been very lucky over the years to have horses that have suited that class, and it, for whatever reason, it suits my style of riding, and managed to win another time this year. So it was pretty exciting, especially being that it was a catch ride that one of Penny Rowland's horses that she allowed me to ride, and what a horse. So
wow, that's great. I didn't know that.
I think you're underselling it though, because I feel like I read that you have won it more than any other person in the history of the show.
Well, yeah, I won it 9 times. I won it 9 times now.
That's pretty good, man. Come on.
Yeah. So we got
on a catch ride.
This one was a catch ride. Yeah.
We need to come up with some kind of a flashy nickname for you for this. Like, what do we got here? Like, come on, Rick, you got to help me. Like, Wild
Nope,
Waylon.
you're on your own. You started it.
I don't know. I'm gonna think on this. Like, because you're a fast rider in general, and then to go into that competition and be fast in like that is hard to be quick in that ring. You there ain't.
Yeah.
I've seen your rounds. You are
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah. No, like the trick to it is to not do any inside turns and try to keep up the gallop, right? Because typically the there will be inside turns that you can take, but when you're doing it such a long course, it's essentially 19 fences by the second night. You're better off trying to just keep one pace and keep going, which I think is cross-country riding.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to put on a cross-country exhibition in a show jumping arena inside.
Yeah, it's tough.
So
you're giving away your secrets and your win there.
They watch me walk the lines. They know where I'm walking.
Good point.
So
do the Europeans know that when they come over? Do they take all the outside lines and keep galloping, or do they try to be clever and go in?
No, like what you watched when Michael's the only I think Michael and Lauren are the only in Lauren formerly Lauren Kiefer
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Lauren Nicholson is one of the others that is her and Michael are the only two invitational riders that have won it. And they, again, you're on a horse that you don't know, so you want to make it easy on the horse. You want to see long lines, so they did all the outside lines, keep galloping. I think if you're on one that you know really well, you kind of feel more comfortable doing an inside turn and trying to be nippy. But again, it's just not that kind of. I don't think it's that kind of class. I think it's there's a lot of brush fences, so you don't have to worry about being too careful at the jumps. You can kind of keep rolling, and I think that's how I've won it. I think that's how I've won it anyway.
Well, if you'd like, next year, I'll come up there, and when you're in the ring, I will cheer. And when everybody else is in the ring, I will boo.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think you'll be well received.
I mean, I feel you get enough Tim Hortons in those Canadians, maybe put a little Crown Royal in the cup with it. We can get a rowdy crowd up there, and yeah, it won't be a problem.
They were a little subdued this year after we lost the World Series.
Oh, yeah, man, that was a bummer. I tell you what, so I'm a Milwaukee Brewer fan, so I was really needing you guys to like just trounce the Dodgers for me because we couldn't do it. And being Jen's from Toronto, I felt like I had some sort of attachment to the Blue Jays. You know what? Next year.
It's always next year. Being from Toronto, we're a tortured sports city, so it's next year though. Next year.
Yeah,
that's a good segue, Waylon. What is your plan for 2026?
Wow, we're starting to form a plan.
Good.
But it sort of.
So what you're saying is you have an idea of a plan.
I have the intention of making a plan.
Got it.
But we'll balance a little bit of show jumping, a lot of eventing. Obviously, it's a big year for North Americans trying to make a team. With the WEG in Aachen, so that's high on our list. And after TerraNova starting to become something that's back on the radar for me, so would like to do like a forlong early in the spring, so hopefully try on or Bromont, and that would qualify me at least for WEG. And then I've just got a few jumpers in the barn that trying to step up the level a little bit there, and maybe take a crack at a CSI 2-star with my little mare. But so we're busy.
That's awesome.
That's super. It's interesting. I was kind of daydreaming when you finished that sentence, because I just saw something about Doug Payne. He won something up at Triumph. What did he win? He had a sash on and he was very happy. Like he had roses too. I mean, what are they doing with these jumpers now? Did you know what he won, John?
I have no idea.
Did you see it, Waylon?
I didn't see it.
Okay,
But,
he won. He won like he won the rider of the week or something like that. They put a sash on you for the jumpers and stuff. Anyway, when you were talking about the it's a CSI 2-star.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what we're saying, Waylon, is we need you to, with the 2-star, go win that so you can get a sash with flowers on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roses. Yeah. Roses, yeah. Waylon.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go with that? What event would you like to show her in the FEI?
Well, TerraNova has one going on. They've got a few weeks of FEIs. What is it? March, I believe.
Right.
Maybe it's February. So that now, having been down there a couple times and seeing that arena, I think it would suit my little mare. I think she does better in smaller arenas because she's a small horse. The bigger the arena. I took her up to Lexington a couple years ago and took a crack at that level, and it was we stepped out of our comfort zone a little bit, maybe a couple steps too far. But I'm thinking now, okay, we've been sort of dabbling at that height for a year now. I'd like to take another crack at a CSI.
What is the 2-star? Is that 1.40 m? What is that?
It's 1.45 m at 2-star. So 2-star is 1.45 m. I think it goes. Then it's 1.50 m, 1.55 m, 1.60 m. Yeah. But also the course designers, and this is what you find out before this is what you find out after you needed to know, is they've got 5 centimeters to play with, right? So like it'll be advertised 1.45 m, but they can put it to 1.50 m if it's a strong field, or like if it's enough money, or sort of whatever. It's to the discretion of the designer. So it's actually it's a fascinating sport, and like any horse sport, it's just hairs of difference to determine who's going to do well and who's going home. So
yeah, it's going to be an exciting season, is what it sounds like. So you'll come down to TerraNova. Are you thinking with the event horses that you'll use Kentucky 4 Short as part of the prep, or no?
Yeah. No,
I know it's close to try on. It's real close.
Yeah. So again, and this is my opinion, I feel like the 4 Short at Kentucky is a championship in itself. So like if I was going to ride a horse, if I was aiming a horse to the 4 Short there, which I have, I would not be thinking I'm prepping them for a 4 long. I'd be thinking I am preparing my horse to go to the 4 Short at Kentucky. Right. I think that the atmosphere and the level of cross country that Derek sets there makes it as hard an effort as a long. So for my horses and me being green on them at the level, I'm going to use the other 4 Shorts that we have available to us, which is quite a plethora of events now. You got Ocala, you got Chat, you got Stableview, and those are all in really good proximity to where I am in Aiken, and that I think preps me well for Tryon. I have gone to the 4 Short at Kentucky after I've done a 4 long with a horse, so like that's just my feeling on that event. I think that a lot of people, and again, my opinions, I think that a lot of people use the 4 Short to be like, I rode at Kentucky.
Yeah.
When really it needs to be, I think it's an event you go to after you've done a 4 long, because it's a 4.5 star short.
I mean, I'm kind of there with you, Waylon, but we used it our first year with the pony as a championship, right? I mean, yes, we had plans to go to a long, decided we couldn't do it. Then last year we used it to go to Rebecca Farm.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. If you're doing it for the first time, at least, you definitely, we found out you don't use it as a prep for a 4 long when you're new to the level, right?
Oh yeah.
So But totally agree. I think this year we are using it as a prep for the forelong, but I think it's in the right context, as you so vastly put well said on other things, where you are in what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I think you have to, as with anything with horse sport, you gotta think, okay, where's my horse at? Not where am I at and where do I want to be? You got to go, okay, well, where's the horse at? And then we plan accordingly. And so that'll be my plan. I think I've got, the between Ocala, Chat, and Tryon, or Ocala, Chat, and Stable View, those are my 4 shorts to prep my horses for the longs this coming spring. And whether I go to Tryon or Bromont, I mean, I love Bromont. It's going to be the 50th anniversary of Bromont this coming year. So I think that, I'm torn between them. But I think that at the end of the day, really my responsibility is to try to give Canada 1 or 2 more combinations that they can consider for WEG.
I think that's why your 2026 should exclude Kentucky and get you prepared, because you're going to have a championship at WEG, because you're going to make it. You're going to make the team.
No, thank you.
Guaranteed. You heard it here first.
We're giving it a crack.
Yeah. Well, listen, Waylon, I really appreciate it. We really appreciate you coming on. I know it's a funny time of year right now because you feel like there's not a lot going on, and yet we're all busy still. So so thank you. I hope you have a great, you do Thanksgiving? You must do Thanksgiving. You're in America.
Okay. I live, I'm a transplant at this point. So we're doing Thanksgiving this week and having a big one at a friend's house. So looking forward to it.
Perfect. Well, enjoy that. And hello to everybody on your squad there. And
happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate it. And we will catch you all on the next one. Again, a huge thank you to Horse Trailer Pros. Matt Taub and his team over there do an amazing job. If you ever need any maintenance, work, help, anything with your horse trailers, Horse Trailer Pros is the place to go. So give them a call, and we will get you guys in 2 weeks' time with the next show.
Thanks, guys.
We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.